In this unit we're learning all about angles. The unit of angle measurement is referred to as the degree. So if you can see here, we have one type of protractor, another type of protractor. Let's have a closer look. Here you can see this protractor here starting at 0, going through to 180 in a clockwise direction. When you have this type of protractor, you can see we have figures going from 0, again similar to the last one, to 180 in a clockwise direction. Then we have 0 here going over through there to 180 in an anti-clockwise direction. So it's really important when you're doing work with protractors is that you're making sure which numbers that you're dealing with. Are you dealing with numbers that are on the inside and moving in an anti-clockwise direction, or on the outside, so moving in a clockwise direction? So let's have a go now at measuring this angle here. Imagine I've drawn it perfectly with two very straight rays or lines. So here it is here. If I'm bringing the protractor over, this is how we can measure it. So really, I'm looking at this central point right in the middle of the protractor, should be lining up with the vertex, okay, which is this point right here where the two rays meet. Okay, so we can see we've got one ray coming down here, another ray coming down here, and this is the vertex where they meet. So I want that to line up perfectly with my protractor as close as possible, just like that. Okay, so then we can see then what needs to happen is that that bottom line needs to line up there with the bottom line of the protractor. Again, let's imagine I've drawn this with a perfect straight ruler. Okay, and as you can see here, we're starting at 0, and then the angle goes around until it's facing directly north there, and it's 90. So we're going to refer to this angle as a right angle, and it is 90 degrees. Okay, so it's a 90-degree angle. Just a quick clue when you're doing work with protractors, sometimes it can be much easier to actually extend your lines to make sure, obviously I'm on an iPad here, so I can do some pretty cool things, such as make it smaller and larger. However, you won't be able to do it with a real protractor. Therefore, it's quite useful to actually, when you're having an angle that you're dealing with, to attempt to extend the rays that you have. So if I can do it carefully here on the iPad, you can see that I can make that a bit longer with a ruler, of course. Make this one a bit longer. Therefore, when I bring my protractor out, it becomes that much easier. When I bring my protractor out, it becomes that much easier to line up. Okay, to line up the different rays, and it goes directly, as you can see, up to 90 degrees. Angles can be arranged into 6 major types or groups. So acute angles. Acute angles, as it says here, is less than 90 degrees. So if we have our protractor right here, and if I was to be drawing acute angles, anything here below 90 degrees. So I have my point there, we could be called my vertex. See, that'd be an acute angle, 10 degrees, 60 degrees approximately will be an acute angle, 80 degrees, 89 degrees, 30 degrees. All of these figures here are less than 90 degrees. Therefore, they're rather cute, they're rather small, so they're referred to as an acute angle. There's also an angle known as a right angle, exactly 90 degrees. Known as an obtuse angle is an angle between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So more than a right angle, less than a straight angle. And as you can see here with my wiggly little line, you can see that this one here is approximately 128, 125, depending if it's a straight line, it could be quite close to 130 right there. Straight angle, one of the easy angles to look at. Simply, it is right angle plus a right angle, which becomes 90 plus 90, which is 180 degrees. So reflex angles are between 180 degrees, so more than a straight angle, and 360 degrees, so less than 360 degrees. So as you can see here, I've got two protractors. This is one we've been working with for the moment, and as you can see, we've started at 0 here, and we've gone way past 90. The rays continue to go. It's gone past 180. So because it's gone past, okay, you need to be thinking that the number's obviously going to be beyond a straight angle, beyond 180 degrees. So I could, by using this protractor, I could attempt to flip it around and try to measure it in this manner, and that would work, because I could then determine that starting at 0 there to about 70, I can sort of see that 70 plus the 180 that originally went all the way over here, okay, so looking about 250 degrees that angle could be. But you sometimes see, and so you could use that protractor in that manner. Otherwise, you can see a different type of protractor. As you can see, it's 360 degrees. As you will see with this type of protractor, it's really important that you are starting at the right spot, because this won't give me an accurate reading if I start here with the 0. As you can see, it's looking more like this angle is complete from there to there at 110. Oh, but that doesn't make sense, because once it goes past a straight angle, straight across, it becomes more than 180. Therefore, when using this type of protractor, it's really important that you line up on the correct line. So as you can see here, I'm going to be lining up my protractor carefully. My 0 there. I've got my point of my protractor right there on the vertex where it should be. I'm really careful, move my protractor around. It's lining up on 0, and therefore I can see the angle. The ray comes out this way, it starts here and moves all the way around until we're approximately at 250 degrees. And here we have a revolution, or a full revolution, okay, and that's where we've gone all the way around. The ray has gone all the way around, gone past 90 degrees, 180 degrees, all the way past as a reflex angle, until it all comes from 359 to 360 degrees, full rotation. So we've learned about 6 different sets or types of angles. Let's have a look at some examples here and see what we know. Let's pretend that I've drawn every single angle with perfect straight lines as well. So firstly here, we can see the smallest angle, less than 90 degrees. Then we have the angle over here, and it's sort of a bit of a giveaway sometimes when you see this, okay, which means a perfect 90 degree angle. Okay, so looking up at our protractor, going down here and going across there. Now the next one in line, we're looking at, well then if we're going past the 90 degrees, we're looking then, it's going to be between 90 and 180, and it's obtuse, an obtuse angle. And so now if the ray continues to go and eventually it will line up here, then it will become a straight angle. So imagine that as well, 90 degrees plus 90 degrees is going to be 180. So if we then go to the next type of angle, if it's gone past 180, okay, if it's 181, if it keeps on going there, it's going to be called a reflex angle. So all the way from 181 all the way through down to 359, we're referring to these types of angles as reflex angles. And finally, what we just heard about, we have a full revolution or rotation, 360 degrees.